Hey guys, Brad here. Today we're going to take a look at a product by RENO. Now this company gave us this product to take a look at, run it through some paces, and give you my 2 cents. This is on Kickstarter right now, so it's part of a campaign they're doing to try and push their product out there and get people talking about it. For the setup, what they did was they gave me the screwdriver and wire binding kit. They gave me some tools here to demonstrate exactly how this thing works. They also give me a pair of side snips, so I'm not exactly sure what you're going to get when they launch this, but we're just going to see how this whole thing works. So the idea is to bind the wires around this pipe. We're also going to show how the screwdriver can just drive a screw in here. I pre-drilled this wood just so it's a little easier for me to screw that in. And then we're going to snip off the wire as well. So binding wire is great if you need to connect something to something. For example, I used to connect my vacuum hose to my jackhammer. When I was, breaking up lots of concrete, I didn't want that dust. I would typically just tape it on there. But if I had some sort of wire binder like this, it probably would have held up a lot better and just been easier for me. If you're enjoying the video, please make sure you subscribe, hit that notify bell, and give me a thumbs up as well. It definitely helps out the video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. I'd love to hear from you. And as well, if you do have any real big questions about projects you might be doing, we do have this Pal Tap program we are involved in. It allows you to call me direct and I can help you with maybe a project or renovation, maybe a tool decision, whatever you might want. The link is down in the description, which will go to the app, which will connect you right to me, and you'll have a video call with yours truly. So let's take a look at the actual unit here. It has a little push button to open it. It doesn't open a lot, but there's a little spring mechanism in here. So you just press this and it slides out. Now everything in here is magnetic. So all these bits are held in here magnetically, so they won't fall out. So that's pretty cool. And you've got all different sizes of bits, which is great. Then on the back side, we've got more bits and the actual tool itself. So first, let's take a look at the screwdriver portion of this, and then we'll get into bending some wire. So the top spins. So if you've got, let's pull out a little Phillips here. Again, these are magnetic, so it just connects right there. And then we put it on our screw and we can just twist it in. We can hold the top. Now, if you really want to torque it up, you open it up like this. You can put this piece through. Now you've got a bit of a T-handle. So now when you come in, you can really crank these screws down. So having the T-handle is nice. But the T-handle isn't just for screwing. It's also for these wires. Another thing you can do with this is you can actually take the bits and put them right in here. There's another magnet. So you've got a smaller way to screw these screws in, just like this. So a few different options to actually drive screws. Now to do the wire bending, there's obviously a couple different ways that you can do this. Typically I would just use line pliers and twist my wires, but this has a different way of doing it. If I wanted to bind this pipe to this dowel, the idea is you take the wire and you bend it around and you put it through itself, just like this. Then you pull it tight. So now you've got a bit of a loop. Then our tool is going to fit right on here, and then we're going to twist this thing together. So let me show you how this all sort of comes together here in the end. So what we want to use are one of these T bits like this. There's a few different ones in here. We're going to attach that onto the front. That's essentially going to connect onto this wire down in here. Now we're going to put this rod through here, just like this. Now you want to attach this piece onto the wire like so, and then run it through here And the same on this side. Now you want to give it a little twist to tighten up these wires, like so, till it's nice and taut. So you can see how I've tightened it up. Now I can bend this, keep tightening, and it's pushing and pulling at the same time. So it's really cinching up around here. So you just keep twisting and twisting until you get it where you want it. And then you will bend it over like this. So now these wires are pulling against here and it's super tight. So now take your cutters, you cut the wire, then you can just bend it over or bang it over, just like that. And we've got a really nice tight bound wire holding this pipe onto this dowel. So let's say you're doing some fencing and you have a T-joint or something and you want to bind those two T's together. You can wrap this wire right around that, use this tool to bind it together, and you can put more than one and it'll really hold that connection together tightly. So it's a pretty cool idea. I don't have any other tools that do this. I know in fencing there's a lot of sort of binding and cabling and all that, but you can use this for other applications as well. Like I said earlier, for attaching my vacuum hose to my jackhammer, this would be a perfect idea. I wouldn't do it as tight as I just demonstrated there, but it would be a way to hold that pipe onto the jackhammer bit and allowing me to suck up all that silica dust as I jackhammer. So that's one option. Another option is just to attach a tiki torch to a fence board or something like that, or to a metal fence. If you wanted to bind it to that and make sure it doesn't go anywhere, you could use a tool just like this. So if you're not into wire binding at all, then you don't have to do that. The fact that this comes with a bunch of different bits is really handy to have. It is in a nice little case, so you could just throw this in a toolbox and you've got all these small bits. You've got some T-bits, you've got Phillips, you've got blades, you've got Robertsons, you've got really tiny micro bits in here. Like, that is so small. That's for like a watch. And the ability to attach it onto here in two different ways, one being like this as a screwdriver, or just using it in this style. It does make it a nice compact little tool for doing any kind of screwing. As far as the binding goes, I've always just used a pair of line pliers and just twisted and twisted and twisted till it's tight enough. It really depends on what you're doing and if this is a tool that would suit your needs. All right, guys, so it's an interesting little tool. It'll definitely have its applications for the right person. It's not for everybody, obviously, but if you're doing stuff like this, it might be perfect for you. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Till next time, keep on crushing it, and we'll catch you later.